Approaching 2:20 p.m. on July 12th, 2018. Calvin Castine on what might be the end of the Rock Road, might be the end of the Brunel Road. I'm not quite sure at this point. I've made enough twists and turns to get here. Probably 12:30 or so. I was looking out my backyard toward this direction and I saw some white smoke going up, and I said, today's a bad day to be burning something. It's awfully dry in the North Country, and we couldn't quite get an angle on exactly where it was. And about an hour later I was looking through Facebook and somebody posted that fire departments were being called. From his first description, I thought it was at the opposite end of the Altona Flat Rock area. So we went down the Slauson Road, and actually heading for the Slauson Road, we went down the Vassar Road and realized we were going away from it. Mr. Greg Spinner takes off from the Altona Fire Department. So we turned around and came down the Minor Farm Road into the hamlet of Altona, and it has led us here. The fire department's arriving. I think back to my youth, somewhere around 60 years ago, either 57 or 58, there was a huge fire here in the Altona Flat Rock, as we see more white smoke coming up over there. This is an area, if you've watched any of our programs with Leonard Patry, Dr. Ken Adams, or Dr. David Franzi, you know that this is an area that is very susceptible to fires and forest fires. So there's a bigger cloud of whiter smoke coming right over there. And I'm not sure if we're going to be allowed to go any closer or if we have to stay put. We'll obey whatever the firefighters decide is the proper way to address this. We'd like to get some coverage, but we don't want to hinder any of the progress that they're making right here. And of course, water would have to be a big problem. I'm sure they'll be running tankers in and out of here, and the off-road apparatus that they use to fight this kind of fire will be heavily used, I'm sure. We've chatted briefly with Chris Tremblay from the county coordinators. Not sure which car number he has. He has a car number that puts him in charge of the operations out here. And as we walk up this way, he said we could proceed at our own caution. We're going to see how close we can possibly get to it. And as you can see, you can get an idea why they call this the Flat Rock area, and they have the Minor Institute signs posted indicating we're going onto the minor property. As you might guess, a lot of mutual aid has been called in. In fact, I recognize one of those fellows on this wheeler vehicle going ahead of us, being from the Cherubusco Fire Department. As you may be able to tell, this is not an area that would accommodate your normal firefighting equipment. So you have to come in by those four-wheel type of vehicles. This is the type of surface that we're looking at throughout this Flat Rock area. lot of low-growing stuff. Noted for the blueberries. And in fact, a century or so ago, the rumor has it they would pick their blueberries and some years set a small fire to get things going for the coming year. The blueberries actually, along with the jack pines up here, actually need occasional fire to thrive. This is the terrain we're walking over. Again, we've done several programs in and around the Flat Rock area, and we invite you to go to our Hometown Cable Network website. We did a story too, and Larry Gooley did a nice history of the Altona Flat Rock and the blueberry industry. And as I said, we did programs with Dr. Ken Adams, Dr. Dave Franzi, and Leonard Patry over the years. We're continuing our hike. We'll turn and watch these fellows come through. Very, very rough terrain, very slow going as they are racing to the battle of the fire, but they've got to get there in a safe manner. That last vehicle we passed included a truck with a little small tanker of water. Hey, Calvin. How you doing, Ted? Dan Dumas coming out from the Morris Fire Department. As you can see, not much leeway. Here comes another one. Vehicles are progressing very slowly, and here's somebody from Shazy. He's not quite sure if this is what he signed up for.
I didn't mean to blow the horn at you.
It's okay, Lee. It's the pharmacist, Lee Barcombe. So, now that traffic has passed, we'll attempt to go back in. Not sure if they were coming out to load up a little bit of water or what their trip is all about. But we'll continue. We've progressed to this point. Looks like it might be a snowmobile trail coming through this way. That would be a little smoother going probably, except that we're going in this direction. That's Dave Lucia, now with the West Shazy Fire Department. Back during the ice storm of '98, he was the fire chief here in Altona. He has since relocated, but still very active in the firefighter and emergency services area. And we have another vehicle bouncing its way down. This is from Altona.
I'm gonna warn you to be careful because it's spreading.
Is it spreading?
Yeah, luckily the wind's blowing that way, but just be careful.
Yeah, Dave said he thought it was switching toward this way, right?
Oh, it could be.
Yeah. Thank you. We've certainly witnessed on the news a lot of firefighters battling fires out west, past half a decade or so, it seems like it's almost year round. And one thing we've all learned from that is that these fires can turn very quickly. It's like another truck coming through. We'll get out of the way. Through fire department. And we bumped into a second or third generation firefighter. Third generation firefighter. What's your name?
Bryce LaBarge.
Bryce LaBarge. Usually I see you whistling out there at the ball games. Where are you heading for right now, Bryce?
I'm just going up this road. The fire's all the way to the road.
So you've got how many gallons does that yellow tank hold?
I think 5.
If it's spreading fast, that doesn't slow it down too much, does it?
No, we got water up there though.
Oh yeah?
So.
All right, I won't hold you up.
Sounds good.
All right, thanks, Bryce. All right, Bryce LaBarge from the Altona Fire Department. His father, Jamie, very active, and sounds like maybe Wayne LaBarge was active in his younger days too. There are sirens in the background as more vehicles are coming. Bryce is heading up there by himself. I would think that if you had the manpower, you try to keep a buddy system going. And I'm sure they have ways of contacting each other, but still, if you had the manpower, that would make sense to me. As we continue to make our way up, and as we said, there's a slight breeze. Right now it's to our back, so that's going to help this fire decide which direction to go. I remember as a child sitting in my yard on the Ridge Road in Champlain in 57 or 58, and there were actually, even though as a crow flies we're probably 12 to 15 miles from here, there were actually leaves, burnt leaves flying into our yard from that distance. Trying to kickstart that wheeler. There's some area that's already been burnt out, smoking. And of course, we all know these things can flare up. We see a hose run alongside here, and back into there. Looks like Village of Dannemora truck has arrived. I'm sure the Miner Institute will forgive the firefighters for cutting down an occasional tree to aid their access. So these fellows were trying to jumpstart that wheeler are now going to hop a ride on that pickup. Mike Cahoon walking by us in the county operation. Recognize a few of these fellows here in the Altona and West Shazy fire departments, trying to get some water pumping. One of the firefighters told us that it hasn't been confirmed, but he'd heard that it could be spread out in miles. As we see, that smoke up there in the horizon is a ways away from us. And he said he heard it was miles in that direction that the fire had spread. There's a Beekmantown grass and brush truck. As we see firefighters up there on the top of this little knoll, little ridge. See if we can get a different angle. Ellenberg Depot. The truck repositioning. It looked like it might have been Phelan Minor at the wheel. We can actually see flames right here. It's the first time we've seen flames, and they are lively flames. Hopefully it's coming through on the camera, but there's lively flames, and as you could guess, when you got to make your way out diagonally, and this fire suddenly starts coming in your direction, it doesn't give you a lot of options. So I'm not sure how much closer we're going to dare to venture. There's some real thick black smoke coming up there. Here comes somebody who just got instructions on where to head. The problem here, of course, is they have to keep coming back and forth to get water in. Here's South Plattsburgh arriving. And a small tank of water like that doesn't last too long when you're fighting flames like that. So at this point in time, it's 3 p.m. It looks like it's certainly starting to perk up at this point right now. Again, we're at the Altona Flat Rock area, and this is more the type of surface that this fire is going in on. Besides the pine trees, many of these jack pines, the fires actually release the seeds for new growth, and the jack pines, from what we've been told, actually rely on a fire to reseed. So this is part of nature's plans. The local firefighters are doing their best to minimize the effects. And this is definitely going to be more than just a few hour endeavor. We're 5.5 hours, 6 hours away from sunset, and if this is going like this at sunset, there could really be a problem here overnight. Got another couple hundred feet, and this is what we see. Flames and smoke in that direction, and a lot of tinder between me and them. We're going to go a few more 100 feet as this fire looks like it's ready to spread in any particular direction. We're not going to get too much closer than this, probably. Temperature is in the low 80s, or it was in the low 80s when I shut my vehicle off an hour or so ago. Now I've got Peru coming out. Went out to get more water.
Right up there, there's going to be a sign. Go right up over the bank. They got your fucking hands full up in there. Okay. They got a lot of fighters on the mountain. All right. There's an occasional swear word or apologies, but as
This is the equivalent of live coverage, and a man saying they've got their hands full in the direction here that firefighter Dumas is heading. Continuing our trek up the rough terrain, we've come off the main road and I'm going to head up this way, at least a little ways, but we don't want to get too close. It suddenly turns. Right now the breeze appears to be to my back, but the wind, the fire can sometimes make its own wind. And this is as far as we're going to head. In addition to stopping this fire from becoming a major disaster, obviously also on the minds of the firefighters is their own personal safety. So they've got to be alert to that and changing conditions. Whoop. The wind shifted briefly, so we came a little closer to where these trucks are and the smoke. You can see them dragging the hose through the smoke-filled area. Okay. I've been told that if I go a couple hundred feet in this direction, it clears up a bit. I can see where the fire is burnt if I get through here. A little hill up above. I'm going to, there we go, and Dumas, that's where the view is. I'll keep the camera rolling. I see this is all burnt through here. As we make our way through here, if I sound a little different, I got a handkerchief over my mouth. This is the early area of the fire. And as you can hopefully see, this is all pretty much burnt. And we're probably not going to go much further. We could probably get another view if we got to the top of that little ridge over there, but there's a lot of smoke between here and there. want to press my luck. Looks like if we look up above, hopefully the camera again is picking it up. We see lots of smoke coming up there, lots of smoke coming up here in the distance, and lots of smoke in this direction here too. So we're on a little burnt out peninsula here. And here's what it looks like at this point in time. And very dry. Lawns are brown. And we've heard unofficially that this may have been started by some people camping. That little campfire that got out of hand. So time will tell whether that is the story. This is a desolate, wide open area right now as all the tinder brush has been burnt out. And we're going to have to try to make our way back to that direction. Continuing to make our way out. There's a Beekman Town truck again. Here comes Keysville. They'll be coming alongside, bringing water. Cherubusco. We heard some French being spoken down there. So chances are Hemingford is here, maybe Lacole, St. Bernard. All part of our mutual aid system here in Clinton County. Of course, Altona and Isle of Mont in the Vermont area. Not yet, bringing in a forest ranger. We're continuing to backtrack, but as we walk along here, I can see that the fire is spreading in this direction. So we have to be very careful that these firefighters who are back here don't become isolated and cut off. Fortunately, there's quite a few Altona people who are very familiar with these back trails here on the flat rock. So if some of them are in the area, in any group that gets cut off, they will know an alternate route. Here's where that snowmobile trail turns. And some more firefighters walking this time. They look again on the horizon. It's definitely starting to spread in this direction. Huh? Nobody's going to talk to me here? No. Calvin Sears will talk to me.
How's it going?
You've been back there?
A little ways, yeah.
And it's certainly sounding very close right now.
It is. It's getting close to the roads. So we're just waiting for more water.
Yeah, and that's the problem with these grass and brush fires.
Yeah, for a while anyway.
So yeah, you don't want to get isolated. Here comes a vehicle. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
They're heading back to get more water. I might just hop on that back of that truck. So.
Yeah, there's Charbuscos.
All right, so this is the way out. Take care, Calvin Sears. Well, I rode out a ways, a very bumpy ride, but saved a lot of footsteps thanks to Cherubusco Fire Department. Firefighter Garand here is reloading their water. They bring water here, and the trucks back there are making their way back and forth. They fill up. We met a small bulldozer on our way out. Imagine that would help to knock some stuff down. contain that, but they are. The folks back here who've been back there are concerned about the direction the fire is heading. So we're going to continue on our trek as we have some badly needed overflow water here going down. Now we're heading this direction. There's more fighters coming in. And some coming back. Ten of 4, actually about 8 of these firefighters, whatever they were doing, if it was their day off, a vacation day, leaving work, whatever it is, they're here volunteering to put this out, and they'll be here until the job is done. If you've never considered becoming a firefighter, give it some thought, particularly you young folks who want to be important in your community. And this is a great way to become a vital part of your community. Hop on board and work with these dedicated folks.
Catch it in West 18.
Dave Lucia is hoping to contain it on the other side in West Shazy. Here's headquarters. We're back here where near where our vehicle was parked. You see Lacole. Looks like Alberg. A firefighter with his personal vehicle back here. This is our view from this vantage point. A lot of smoke going up there, a lot of fire still happening. It's about slightly after 4 p.m. Temperature, I would imagine, is still in the low to mid 80s. We just got rid of a long stretch of 90-degree weather plus. Clarence LaFountain is here and offering whatever help he can have here. And in a day or two we're supposed to be back up into the 90s, so hopefully this will be a short oh, you want to get in the shade, Greg Spinner? All right. Greg Spinner is going to talk with us. First he's got to confer with Chris Tremblay. Eric Day is here. The county is, fire coordinators are here. Folks from Morrisonville. We're waiting for Eric to become available. We'll do another update here at 4:05 on the smoke situation. There is a Homeland Security helicopter in the area that Eric Day was talking to when I was over in that area about 5 minutes ago. So Homeland Security is here, giving an aerial view of what they're putting up with right now. And when the firefighters from the various departments show up, they sign in here so that they have a record of who is on site. Noticed another one of our Canadian neighbors, St. Paul de Illinois. If there are any fire departments that we haven't recognized that are here today, we certainly want to thank them too as we look at this ominous dark cloud. They've been meeting over here for about 10 minutes, planning their next strategic move. It's not something that, fortunately, not something that we have a lot of experience fighting up here. I'm using the editorial we. Looking toward the sky because I hear a chopper. There it is. Flying around the perimeter of the fire. Sure, they're taking pictures and video and relaying that information down here. The forest ranger has arrived back, and sure she'll be adding her thoughts to what's happening. If you look here, it looks very mild, but you don't have to go around this tree very much to different shades of smoke, dark brown, blackish charcoal, and a couple of plumes of white, very white smoke, all merging together. And this headquarters has been set up in somebody's yard. You can see the roof line back there of an outbuilding. I'll just give you an idea of what everybody's lawn looks like in the North Country right now. This isn't the driveway. This is what our lawns look like. They've all turned brown from the dry spell that we've had. One of the people I hadn't noticed, looks like Kirk Beattie from the Minor Institute is here. He's got the maps of the Flat Rock area. As we hear the Homeland Security chopper go by again. On the other side of that white birch, so we're unable to see it. It's encircling the fire area. And now this forest ranger vehicle is pulled up. It's 4:22 right now. Now 4:38. I think we're going to wrap it up. We'll have time to talk to Greg Spinner or somebody else representing the firefighters at another time. Hopefully this is a one-day event, and as we are now 4 hours away from sunset, I'm hoping that they're able to contain this. But for the time being, this is going to wrap up our look at the Altona forest fire on the Altona Flat Rock on this 12th day of July 2018. You're watching viewer-supported local television, Hometown Cable. If you appreciate the effort that Hometown Cable does 365 days a year, we need to hear from you. Without viewer support, this programming would not be possible, and there will come a time when it's no longer here due to a lack of viewer support from the community. In the meantime, we'll take one more moment to applaud the effort that these firefighters have put in today. They continue to battle this forest fire that seems to be a long way from being contained here at 4:40 p.m. Thanks for watching. We've decided to add one more shot to the video. This is the view from my home on a ridge road in Champlain, about 2.5 miles from the village of Champlain. This is the view of what that Altona forest fire looks like at this point in time at 10 after 5.